Hello and welcome to Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, where we bring to you qualifying for later on today's is it Emilia Romagna Grand Prix? I think it is, that's what it's called, the F2 World Cup 2025. Of course, we had the sprint yesterday. That was won by Mexico and McLaren's Pato O'Ward. We've got currently on provisional pole the half Dane, half German Oliver Goethe, who has in the RB. His teammate though, he could have been on pole. Pepe Marti, he had his final lap. No, actually no. He had a lap invalidated for track limits. That would have been good enough to put him on pole. It was through the second to last corner though, so it invalidated his next lap, which would have been his last chance to set a lap. So Pepe Marti qualifying really ruined there from one mistake, unfortunately for the Spaniard. But it's Goethe, Victor Martins in second place, the Alpine Academy driver, not the one who's replacing Ocon next year. That is Jack Doohan. Where is the Australian? Down in 24th place. The man on pole, by the way, yesterday, Kushmaini, has not even set a lap yet. Ignore the fact he's a Mercedes. We have the exact same issue as we had yesterday for the sprint. I thought it'd be fixed, but unfortunately it isn't. I think it won't be as many cars in the wrong livery, but it is quite a few cars in the wrong livery. Paul Aaron, is he going to be able to start this lap? Yes, he is. Just about. He's going to start a lap. Currently in 29th place. Let's see where this lap puts him. You know what? Let's watch it. Let's go on board with Paul Aaron as he goes through the first section into turn. Is this 4? Yeah, turn 4. Then turn 5 straight away, just like the double apex corner at Mexico. Before the next corner, it's a little flick to the left. It's not flat out though, it's such a tricky one to get right. They open DRS for the second time this lap. Of course, we've already had the front straight. They go into the hairpin. Is this the Pedrosa corner? I believe it might be. It's named after someone in MotoGP, I think. I'll have a look. I'm not too sure. And then another hairpin where the long lap is for the MotoGP and World Superbike and pretty much any motorbike races. It's Quercia, so no, not named after anyone. Anyway, go through 11, 12, 13, quite a tricky corner, but it's not quite flat, but it's not quite a heavy braking corner. Anyway, 14, Caro, then we've got 15, this one can be taken flat out. This is actually where Marty had his lap time deleted, and Aaron pits. Aaron abandons that lap, obviously not good enough for his liking. So it will be Oliver Goethe on provisional pole in the Trident RB Honda RBC car. I know these names are a mouthful. I mean, I could just call it an RB or Trident. I mean, in all fairness, it's a Trident. It's just RB that supply everything. It's an RB car, but a Trident, if you know what I mean. So yeah, let's go through your grid. It's Kushmaini at the back. Paul Aaron, we just saw in 29th place. Took a Tappinen. He was so good in the sprint race. It was an unfortunate incident that he had, getting caught up in a little pile-up in the chicane. Of course, that chicane is no longer on this track because that's only for the sprint. Then Gabriel Bortoletto, Dennis Hauger, Luke Browning, Jack Doohan, Iwasa, Zach O'Sullivan. He started right at the back for the sprint race yesterday and ended up finishing, I think, on the podium. I'll have to have a look. I'm not too sure where he finished. He was in or around the podium. That's what I remember. It was P3, so yeah, he wasn't the podium, the British driver. Dino Beganovic, he crashed out. He was the one that actually caused the pile-up at the chicane, which took a Tappinen race to be ruined. Tappinen was leading. The lowest ranked driver from last season, of course, season Frecker. Everyone else is either an F3 or F2 or IndyCar or a free agent that's been in F2 before. Anyway, Colton Herta, Nicolas Solov, Enzo Fittipaldi, Isaac Hadjar, Juan Manuel Correa, Yuri Vips, Gabriel Mini, Callum Voisin, Pepe Marti, yesterday's winner Pato O'Ward, Jack Crawford, Christian Mansell, Franco Colapinto, Alex Dunn, Arvid Limbad, the man who looked so strong in the Macau Grand Prix, if you remember that one, Andrea Kimi Antonelli finally finding some pace in an F1 car. He did get a point at the Indian Grand Prix in his one-off cameo appearance last season, but his races at Macau and yesterday in the sprint were not up to scratch for his standards. Yes, he was involved in a few incidents, and can you really count Macau as a race? Not really, no one finished it. Anyway, speaking of people that didn't finish it. It's the one that DNF last in the Macau Grand Prix. Leonardo Fornaroli, or F3 World Champion for 2024, in F2 this year. But for now, he's starting in P4, trying to replicate what he did a few months ago at Macau. Oliver Bearman, well, this time couldn't finish the race whilst doing it, and I think he should. I don't think could have the same issues. Obviously not. Oliver Bearman in third, another F1 driver for next year racing for Haas. Victor Martins in second, and Oliver Goethe is on pole. And they've already watched pretty much a lap on board with, who was it? What's his name? I forgot what his name was. Paul Aaron, there we go. But I do want to watch on board of Oliver Goethe as well. It was his first flying lap, which got him the pole. He's about to start it now. So let's get into lap commentary mode. As he goes, opens the RS to start his pole position lap. He's got one of the Red Bulls in front of him, the sister car, actually two Red Bulls in front of him. As he goes through 1 and then through 2 towards turn 3, Variante del Parco. And then for turn 4, it's that tricky one. It's not quite a hairpin, but it's very long through Rio. And then 5, another one just like it, not as tight, but still quite tricky. Turn 6 as well, pretty much 90-degree left-hander, because you have not much speed going into it. You think you can get that out, but you can't. DRS open, if they go through 7, not really a noticeable corner. 8 though it's a long hairpin, long downhill cambered hairpin. Quercia is the name of it. Towards turn 9, a flat out king, which you actually have to brake before, to brake for Tramonto, sorry. Turn 10, tricky one as well. A lot of tricky hairpins on this track, of course, designed for MotoGP and more superbikes. Anyway, open DRS for the 3rd time this lap. Through curve on turn 11, turn 12, this is when we saw that big accident for Albon in the F1 race a few years ago. Turn 13, quite a tricky corner. Turn 14, long hairpin called Caro. For turn 15, that can be taken flat out. Of course, Goethe probably had quite a bit of slipstream going down the back straight. Going through the final corner, turn 16, called Misano, named after the circuit. DRS open on the main straight again, and that is your pole lap from Oliver Goethe. We'll be back later on today. It's a 4 PM lights out time for the UK, 5 PM local time. And if you're thinking normally it's about 3 PM, why is it like that? It's not a night race, it is a night race. The clock's, of course, it's February, so it gets darker a lot later. Sunset is around 10 to 6, so we're going to have about 50 minutes of racing action, but I don't even know at this point. Our factor, it might not be realistic to real world times, because it's real life, isn't it? I know it's not good for our factor. Anyway, we'll be back then for the Grand Prix, but this time all 30 cars can take part. It's not these weird Macau rules, because that was only because of Macau had that massive accident going into Lisboa. Is it Lisboa turn 2, whatever it is? Anyway, we'll see you then.